Wow, that was fast. It went past us just as quick as it popped up. We got a nice little shower in the garden. Let's go ahead and look at a tomato hack. No giant snake guarding the door today. Well, I'm going to show you a tomato hack. It's going to make your gardening much easier. I think we're getting real close to pulling some garlic. Now, I let these go on purpose to get a little leggy. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with them. Memorial Day is coming up. If you haven't planted any tomatoes and you want to try, I'll bet they have some that are like this. You can probably pick up on sale. If you do this to these tomatoes, you're going to have a harvest this year, and I guarantee it'll taste better than any store-bought tomato. And I want to talk about that too, vine-ripe tomatoes. Come on, let's plant. Now, I left this trellis open on purpose because I was planning to show you this. The hack starts just like normal. We dig down the bare soil. Just look at the worms we have down in here. That's a deep mulch for you. Except I'm going to make a little trench. It's pretty soft. I'm actually going to make a couple trenches here. We'll plant 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. This thing is just teeming with worms. That is wonderful. Thank you, guys. So even with that heavy rain we just got, underneath this mulch, it's not soppy muddy. It's damp, but it's not horrible. I'm going to kind of measure this out. Okay. We're going to plant these on the sides. All the little bumps, not the hairs, but all the little bumps up and down the vine, those will turn into roots. So the hack is, we're just going to clip off all of these leaves all the way down here. Clean that up. I'm going to take that one off too. We're going to take that root ball, we're going to set it down in here. We're going to set it on its side. We're going to gently raise it as we cover this up. Don't raise it hard and fast, you'll crack it. You do not want to do that. Even if it comes out at a little angle, you'll be fine. It'll stand up. And just snug that back in. That's the hack. Now you got a tomato in the ground. It's going to have roots from here to here. The plant will come up, we'll trellis it, and it's going to produce wonderful tomatoes for you. If you got any little flowers, pinch those out. They'll have plenty of time to make fruit. We want these to make roots right now. And then we can just go ahead and mulch back in around these. They're good and ready to go. Let me open up a little more trench. Let's talk about vine-ripe tomatoes. I've told you this before. I'm not out here to tell any adult how to garden. I'm just showing you what I do and the results that we've been getting over the last several years. I hope some of this is helpful. Now, I do feel kind of bad because I've got quite a few negative comments on my take on vine-ripe tomatoes. So I've done some studying. There's a couple different stages when your tomatoes are growing. You've got your immature green ones. That's everything from pollination up to the mature green stage. Now, the mature green stage, they're still hard and they're green, but they haven't started producing any ethylene. And it takes ethylene for fruits to mature. Whether it's a tomato, whether it's an avocado, a banana, an apple, they all produce ethylene. So until they start producing ethylene, they're not going to start ripening. But once they start producing ethylene, that's the break stage, where you get a little color starting at the blossom end, and it starts moving up. You get about 20 to 30% of the color. That tomato puts on a little barrier, and it stops drawing anything from the main plant. That is a vine-ripe tomato. You can go ahead and take that, bring it in the house. It'll continue to produce ethylene. It'll continue to go ahead and ripen. The taste is no different than if you leave it out in the garden. And if you leave it out in the garden to go completely red, you got birds, you got bugs, and you got rain. You got a rainstorm like we just had, it hits your tomato plants, you're gonna swell up and split on you. Or it's just about perfect, I'm gonna come out tomorrow and a bird's pecked it, or a worm's been in it. You'll have a much better quality tomato if you pick it at the break stage. And I was always taught that was called the blush stage. So anytime you hear me talk about blush, I'm talking about at the break stage, when it starts producing color and ethylene, and it's starting to mature. Don't put it in the refrigerator. If you store a tomato anywhere under 50 degrees, then it starts breaking down the enzymes that are in there, and that's why it doesn't taste very good if you store a tomato in the refrigerator. So where did I get this information? It seems like in 2022, a whole bunch of universities all did the same thing and studied tomatoes. In the scientific journal Nature, in 2022, you can look it up, it's all about tomatoes. They cite a dozen different universities and a bunch of different papers. Now I could read all those papers to you, but it would bore you to tears. And the highlight is, the tomato doesn't need to be on the plant any further than that break stage. It's not drawing anything else from the tomato, and you're running the risk of losing it. They've done double-blind tests where they didn't tell them what it was that they're eating, and they couldn't tell the difference. I'm sure there's people out there that are going to say I'm wrong, but I've been doing this a long time too, and we've been picking them early a long time. The beauty about the deep mulch, there's a lot of good things about the deep mulch, but this is one of the good things. You just cut and drop, let those land, you're just good to go. As they grow a little bit, we'll be out here and we'll trim them up and we'll string them up. And when the tomato is picked for market, it's usually picked at the first green stage. But they go ahead and then they haul them to a distribution point. They put them in a big room and they pipe in ethylene gas. And that makes them beautifully red. The problem is they're so immature when they're picked, they don't have a chance to make flavor even when they're ripening them. But that's why a store-bought tomato is beautiful to look at, but then again, is kind of tough and it has very little taste. Where ours out in the garden, they might have a blemish or two, but they taste wonderful. And that's my hack. Oh, look at this turmeric. It sure did like that rainstorm. I like being out in the garden after a rainstorm. It is very calm. I usually wait till Memorial Day to start planting the slips, but I knew we made it past that last frost, and I got a bunch to get in the ground. Now you can plant slips along with me, or you could go down to one of the box stores and get some leggy tomatoes for a little bit of nothing, prune them up, plant them on their side. You still got plenty of time. Now I hope you find some of this helpful. I'm not suggesting you plant any specific way. It's just a nice hack. It's worked very well for me. You can do this too. Now remember, you pick your tomatoes at the first blush. When they're about 20% red, put them on the counter. And feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me I'm wrong. But I've been doing it a very long time, and my taste buds may not be that discerning. But I'll guarantee you, the tomatoes we grow in our garden, no matter when you pick them, are going to taste much better than a store-bought tomato. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.